the third Deputy Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda, representing the Prime Minister, Robina Nabanja, on behalf of the Government of Uganda. On behalf of the Government of Uganda, and on my own behalf, I express our condolences to the bereaved family and all the people of Uganda following the passing of a distinguished son of our country, Honorable Henry Kyemba, on 19th October 2023. I have not been able to be with you because I'm attending a cabinet meeting at State House in Entebbe, but I've delegated Right Honorable Rukia Nakadama to convey our condolences. I thank His Excellency the President, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for granting Honorable Kyemba an official burial in recognition of his significant contribution to our country. Honorable Kyemba was a seasoned public servant and politician with a rare sense of dedication to public service. The key cabinet and public service positions he was entrusted with by different governments since independence are a testimony to his leadership abilities and a commitment to serving the people of Uganda. Like you have been told, Honorable Kyemba has served in all the governments since independence. And key to note is that Honorable Kyemba served as an Assistant Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister. That was his first job at the age of 25 years. That is rare to find here in Uganda, to serve in such a position at such an age. That was in the Prime Minister's office, Milton Obote. When he returned to Uganda from exile in 1986, Honorable Kyemba re-entered public service and later politics. As the Jinja West representative to the National Resistance Council and later the Constituent Assembly, he enormously contributed to the writing of our Constitution and helped establish democracy in our country. Honorable Kyemba documented key moments and events in our country and has been one of the important sources of information on Uganda's political history. While he's no longer with us, he has left an indelible mark on the public service and politics of our country. We will always remember him, and we encourage everybody, especially the youth, to emulate him. I thank you, fellow mourners, for showing up here in large numbers to pay your last respect to Honorable Kyemba Henry. I also want to thank you for standing with the bereaved family in this difficult time. May the Almighty God grant the bereaved family comfort and strength. May his soul rest in eternal peace. This copy of the speech, I'll give it to the family. I thank you.
Thank you very much. You may take your seats. Thank you very much. You may take your seats.
Office of the KABAKA of Buganda, PO Box 58, Kampala, Uganda. October 20th, 2023. Ms. Susan Kyemba. We have learned with great sadness the news of the demise of your beloved father, the late Honorable Kyemba, who was a friend of mine for many years. We extend to you and the entire family our sincere condolences. We join the nation to mourn the passing of a selfless leader who served the nation with dedication for many years. My friendship with your late father goes back many years ago when he held a high position in the government of the day. He was extremely kind, courteous, and helpful. He often tactfully assisted us to navigate the tricky situations that we encountered on various occasions. After his retirement from public service and politics, he remained a good friend and he benefited greatly from his wise counsel. We will greatly miss him. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Signed, Ronald Muenda Mtebi II, KABAKA. Office of the KABAKA of Buganda, PO Box 58, Kampala, Uganda. October 20th, 2023. Ms. Susan Kyemba. We have learned with great sadness the news of the demise of your beloved father, the late Honorable Kyemba, who was a friend of mine for many years. We extend to you and the entire family our sincere condolences. We join the nation to mourn the passing of a selfless leader who served the nation with dedication for many years. My friendship with your late father goes back many years ago when he held a high position in the government of the day. He was extremely kind, courteous, and helpful. He often tactfully assisted us to navigate the tricky situations that we encountered on various occasions. After his retirement from public service and politics, he remained a good friend and he benefited greatly from his wise counsel. We will greatly miss him. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Signed, Ronald.
On behalf, the late has been my great friend because we worked together a long time during the national dialogue, together with Right Honorable Ruhakana Rugunda, who was by then our chair, and I was co-chairing with Mufti of Uganda, co-chairing the national dialogue. So I came to know him very, very closely, and I could not agree enough with the message that has been given by the family, the daughters, that he has been a very humble man, very, very, very honorable. Kyemba, condolence message. The Interreligious Council of Uganda, Council of Presidents, received with great shock the passing away of Honorable Henry Kyemba, who has been an executive member of the Elders Forum of Uganda, TEFU, which occurred on the 19th of October, 2023. On behalf of the Interreligious Council, Council of Presidents, and the entire interreligious fraternity in Uganda, I wish to convey our deepest and heartfelt condolences to the family of the late Honorable Kyemba, the Elders Forum of Uganda, the Obwakyabazinga bwa Busoga, and the government of Uganda. The late Kyemba was an eminent member of the Elders Forum of Uganda, TEFU, a platform that brings together distinguished senior citizens, eminent men and women of different professions who diligently served their country in various capacities. As an executive member of TEFU, the late Kyemba was part of the Interreligious Council TEFU team that traversed the country to organize the regional consultations and debates as a build-up to the first ever national presidential candidates debate. The debates were aimed to provide an opportunity to all aspiring presidential candidates to address the citizens on issues of national importance and build a culture of peace, civility, humility, harmony, and unity among the people of Uganda. The late Kyemba believed in politics that embodied these values. We also remember him for having worked behind the scene to ensure that all presidential candidates would attend the debate. As many of you are aware, the 2011 and 2012 and the 2015-16 general elections generated high political temperature that caused polarization among aspiring contestants. Both TEFU and IRCU believed that the country needed a national dialogue, and Henry was one of the most ardent champions of the national dialogue. Having served in all the past independent governments, he fully understood the turbulent history of the country, and he did not want our country to slide back into the chaotic history. TEFU and the IRCU believed in a platform that would bring together the citizens to talk among themselves with their leaders to agree on a shared vision for the future of this country. Again, Henry was one of the people working behind the scenes in the shuttle diplomacy to ensure a buy-in for the government and other key stakeholders to participate in the national dialogue. We also remember him as one of the few Ugandans who, in the last hours of the late Archbishop Janalum, had attended a meeting with the Archbishop and President Idi Amin, and therefore had first-hand information about the fate awaiting the Archbishop. Finally, we will remember Henry as a very respectful, extremely knowledgeable, calm, kind, patient, and loving person, and as a voice of reason among the members of the Elders Forum of Uganda. During this time of grief, we want to comfort you, the family, with the following words from the scriptures, taken from the first letter of Paul to the Thessalonians, chapter 4, verse 14 to 15. For we believe that Jesus died and rose again, and so we believe that God will bring with Jesus those who have fallen asleep in him. According to the Lord's word, we tell you that we who are still alive, who are left behind until the coming of the Lord, will certainly not precede those who have fallen asleep, including Henry. We therefore pray to the Almighty God that in his mercy he will comfort you as a family and give you, the religious, the family, the religious fraternity, and the whole country at large, the strength to cope with this big loss of our brother. And I heard just before I came here that in the last few days of his life in the hospital, he committed his life to the Lord. For that, we really give glory to God. Tukute tendereza Yesu, Yesu, o imwana gwandiga, o Musaya.
And of course, I thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, who graciously recognized the great contribution of Henry Kyemba and granted him an official funeral and send-off. Our brother is gone. Let's emulate his example, especially in love for his country, in integrity, and wanting peace and prosperity for our country. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Know him as an old boy of Mwiri, as a Rotarian, but I have seen him for the last 10 years. I've served at the kingdom, coming to practically every function, carrying a VVVIP card. And whenever I asked him, where do you get it, he would just smile. Now I know. And I'll start with a tribute to Honorable Henry Kyemba by Nabagereka Najinda Luswata. I pay tribute to a great gentleman. Honorable Henry Kyemba was a remarkable individual, an exceptional man with great intellect. His intelligence was apparent to everyone who had the pleasure of conversing with him, and I was fortunate enough to do so on a couple of occasions. On one such occasion, I'd gone to visit him several months ago, expecting to meet a frail person who didn't have much to say. But to my surprise, with a drip in his hand and oxygen tube going through his nose, he was upbeat and ready for a conversation. During our conversation, he navigated all manner of issues with grace and insight. He possessed a keen intellect that allowed him to assess situations effortlessly. He still had the insatiable thirst for knowledge and exceptional ability to tell stories and situations from the past. He had an extraordinary memory. He could recall the smallest details from conversations that had taken place decades ago. I marveled at his storytelling ability. I believe he had one of the best memories. In return, he listened with genuine interest and enthusiasm to my stories, radiating a warm energy and creating a sense of camaraderie between us. Honorable Kyemba was a splendid man with a rare blend of spirit that dared him to publish The State of the Blood, a book that would have cost him his life in the 1970s. It was a book that many Ugandans wanted to read, but hardly any Ugandan could get their hands on it at that time. It was banned in the country. Driven by his unwavering patriotism, it would have taken extraordinary strength for Honorable Kyemba to counter President Idi Amin. Yet, despite his brilliance and many accomplishments, he was the embodiment of humility. He never boasted about his successes. He was never self-seeking, but giving credit to others and using his experience to inspire and uplift the others. He was truly an exceptional individual who also loved, and it goes without saying, that he loved Buganda and loved the KABAKA, and the KABAKA loved him too. I struggle in my thoughts and emotions, trying to understand what his wife, children, Dr. Susan, Henry Jr., Linda, Stephen, and all the Honorable Henry Kyemba grandchildren are going through. I share your grief in this time of bereavement, and deepest sympathy and condolences I offer you. Although words seem inadequate to express the sadness over this loss and your loss, may you take comfort in knowing that he was so much loved and appreciated by many of us who are lucky to have met him. Thank you for sharing this wonderful person with us as a family. May peace that comes from memories of love shared with your father comfort you, and may the love